Hi there. On this video, I'm going to run through a number of deals with an eye towards the competitive bidding as taught in lesson 5, the simplified competitive bidding. Let's start. On this deal, your partner-in-law has bid one club with an opening hand. Opponents have overcalled one heart. By the way, you may ignore this explanation here because this is the agreement, the bidding agreement that robots work with. This is not the bidding agreement that is taught to you. What's important is that you as a partnership keep to the bidding agreement that you have between yourselves. Okay, let's proceed. What do you have? What do I have? I have 4 high cut points, and to bid on, I'll have to bid at the 2 level. So, and I have no fit with my partner, so I would pass. West bids 1 no trump. And my partner passes. East now bids 2 heart. I pass. And West bids 4 heart. And I pass. Okay, so at this point, unlike the prior session, I'm going to show you all hands and also show you something called a double dummy analysis, which is the computer's way of computing whether you would make the contract or not, assuming hindsight that you can see all hands. I mean, I'm going to use this as an indication to see whether you might have bid to a relevant level or not. In this case, opponents have bid to 4 heart. And the rate -1 means if you lead any of this, there's a fair chance, assuming you play properly, that the contract will be defeated by 1 trick. So actually, there's probably around a 50-50% chance, roughly speaking, that opponents will make 4 heart. Let's go to another deal. I'm going to hide all hands. Excuse me. All right. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 high cut points and a nice shape. 6 cards in spades. You have a minimum hand, but the potential is there to go higher if you find a fit. So you bid 1 spade. Opponents bid 2 clubs. Partner 2 hearts. Now, with a 6-card spade and nothing else to bid, I mean, you could have bid clubs, except that opponents already bid clubs. So actually, opponents are long in clubs here, and you are long in clubs. Your partner is probably short in clubs, in all likelihood. You cannot support your partner's hard bid. So you, with a minimum hand and no fit yet, you're gonna have to bid a limit bid. It's either 2 no trump or 2 spade in this case. With a singleton diamond, it seems safer to bid 2 spade. And opponents have come to 3 clubs. At this point, you might be thinking that with 5 clubs, it is actually better to let opponents play in clubs. Then you will have 5 trump cards, a long club suit to offset opponent's club contract. So you would be happy to have the bidding stop here. Unfortunately, partner bids 3 spade. Maybe it's not so unfortunate. Maybe you really do have a game. Partner has bid 2 heart new suit, indicating 10 plus high card points. And now your partner has bid 3 spade. This is a likely indication, since partner did not bid spade at first, that partner actually has 2 spades and is hoping that with your 2 spade bid, you actually have 6 spades and not 5, right? So very likely partner has 2 spades and 10 points or so. 2 spades and 10 points or so. So now you have a fit. You can count your distribution points. You have 6 distribution points. 6 plus 12 is 18. That's quite a number. I think you can justify going to 4 spades. So you can see that at first you didn't have a spade fit, but later you think you have a spade fit. So your hand goes from a minimum hand to almost a game likely hand, just by your partner showing you a fit. Let's see what the computer thinks. Oh, you can see that opponents actually have a set of pretty strange hands. This might be one of your occasions where the point count may not be as good. All right, the computer thinks you will go down 2 tricks. Could the opponents have made? Not likely, because opponents don't have a clear way to bid a game. They don't really have a fit, and by having void on both sides, they will have difficulty playing 3 no trump contracts. So this sacrifice here, or this bid for 4 spade here, may turn out to be an unnecessary sacrifice. But you can't have everything. This is what you do when you go for competition. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Let's go to the next one. Okay, you have a nice long spade suit, but only 3 high card points. We have told you that you should bid a weak 2 with at least 4 high card points. Let's see what happens when you bid 2 spade anyway. Opponents bid 2, no trump. What does your partner bid? Your partner passes. You pass. Okay, so the contract is 3 hearts by the opponents. Turns out the opponents can probably even have over tricks. See the 1s and 2s in green? if played properly, obviously. So by bidding a 2-spade bid here, you force the opponents to start bidding at the 2 level. And opponents stop short of game. So in this case, by denying opponents information, you have possibly prevented them from bidding to game, which is a good thing. Let's move on. Your partner passes, and West has bid 1 spade. What do? You have 13 high card points and a shortage in the spade suit. So even though you don't have a good 5-card suit, you do have 6 cards in clubs and more than the minimum 10 points for an overcall at the 2 level. So you bid 2 clubs. Opponents now bid 3 diamond. And what does your partner do? Your partner passes it. Well, your partner bids 4 clubs. Now it's time for you to pass, because very likely your partner was weak just from the bidding. So partner has 7 high card points, 8 total points if 9 total points if you count the shortage in diamonds. 8. So from a law of total tricks point of view, your partner could only have assumed you had 5 good clubs. So 4 clubs is a bit of stretch, because if your partner assumes you have 5 good clubs, from a law of total tricks point of view, your partner can only bid up to 3 level for 9 tricks. So in this case, your partner stretched a little bit to bid 4 club. Competitive bidding is a little bit of art and a little bit of science. Sometimes you do have to give some allowance to stretch the rules or guidelines a little bit. As a bridge player, you gain more experience playing more and more, and you eventually figure out what's the right thing to do under various circumstances. But anyway, let's see what the computer thinks. The computer actually thinks you can make a 4 club contract. And how many points do you have? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 plus 7. You have 20 high card points only. 21, 22, 23, 24. If you count the short suit distribution points. Oh, excuse me. 26. 26. So actually, if you counted the distribution points using the 531 point scale, you would have 26 total points, which corresponds to your meeting the 4 club contract. Let's move on again. Your partner passes 1-0 trump, indicating 15 to 17 high card points. That's quite a big hand. But what do you have? You have 12 high cut points and a void in diamond suit. A void in diamond suit with an opening hand, 6 good cards, and a very shapely hand like this. You would feel justified in overcalling to spade. Okay, so partner knows you have overcalled with 6 spades because that's in your agreement. You need to have an agreement with partner, right? And your agreement says you overcall with 6 spades. So partner raises it a bit further with 3 spades. The likelihood is that your partner has 3 spades in hand. You pass. So again, what is the likelihood? You might actually make extra tricks, even though, how's your high cut points? You have a total of only 19 high cut points. Only 19 high cut points. All right, let's move on. It's your turn. 9 high cut points, no opening hand, pass. Opponents bid 1 diamond. 1 diamond. What does your partner do? Your partner bids 1 heart. And East bids 1 spade. So you don't have a fit for partner. You have 9 high cut points. 9 high cut points. Can you bid at the 2 level? Well, you do have one thing going for you, a nice 6 card club suit. So going strictly by the rules, the guidelines we teach you, you can't really support partner, and you can't bid no trump because you don't have stoppers in spades and diamonds, and you can't bid a new suit at the 2 level because you don't have 10 high cut points. So strictly speaking, you should pass. But let's talk a little bit about what happens if you are a little bit more experienced. With 6 clubs, you might think of bidding 2 clubs. You wouldn't be totally faulted for bidding that. However, I suggest you use our guidelines, which is pass. Opponents bid 2 spade, you pass. All right. So what's the result? In fact, the computer thinks opponents would go down 1 trick. So by passing, you may have done your partnership some good. Remember, it's easy to get excited in competitive bidding and continue bidding because, well, it's exciting, right? You're competing. But sometimes a pass is better. In this case, it is better to pass. So keep that in mind. Try to stick to our guidelines. Let's move on. All right. You have 6 high card points. 6 high card points. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spades. Under the guidelines taught to you, you can actually bid 3 spades. Let's do so. Your partner passes. Okay, it turns out your partner is actually quite strong. Your partner has an opening hand, a minimum opening hand. All right, but under our guidelines, this is considered a moderate strength hand, right? So with less than 10 high card points, your partner would raise you in an attempt to frustrate the opponents. Because if partner had 10 and he knew that you also have less than 10, the likelihood is that opponents might have game. Your partner would then raise your 3 spade bid with less than 10 high card points. If partner was stronger with, say, about 16 high card points and support for your spade suit, partner would bid the game, actually. So, in summary, with a weaker suit and a fit, partner would have used law of total tricks to raise your bid to further frustrate opponents with a weaker hand. With a strong invitational hand, like 16 high card points and above, and support for your spade suit, partner would have raised the game. With something in the middle, as with this hand, partner would pass. Partner would pass because you may not make game, and yet you may be strong enough to frustrate your opponents. Let's see what the computer thinks. The computer thinks that you can just about make a 3 spade contract. So, in a way, this is a good bid. Let's move on. All right. It's your partner's turn to bid. Your partner bids 1 club. What do you have? You have 7, 8, 9 points, high card points, no fit. So you bid your next best thing, your 6-carder hard suit. Partner bids 1 spade. What do you bid? It is better for you to show that you have a minimum hand and no fit. It is better, really, even though you have a 6-carder here. Partner now bids 2 no trump. So partner is inviting you to 3 no trump if you have a little bit extra. By the way, you may have noticed there's no competitive bidding with this one. That sometimes occurs. I tried to arrange the hands, but the robots are not cooperating with a competitive bid. Anyway, back to this hand. You have 9 high card points. So you actually have on the somewhat high side of a minimum hand. And your partner probably has a good invitational hand and is inviting you to 3 no trump. So if a good minimum hand, you go 3 no trump. Once again, let's see what the computer thinks of this. Yes, the computer thinks you can make a 3 no trump contract. Let's move on. Partner bids 1 diamond. And the robot bids 2 club. So what do you have? You have 10 high card points with a nice, very long heart suit. In fact, you have 2, 4, 6, 7 hearts. You actually need very little heart support from partner to have a heart fit. And you have 10 high card points. So what do? With 10 high card points, you can bid at 2 level, right? So let's bid at 2 level. What does partner do now? Partner bids a limit bid. The partner has just repeated the diamond suit. This implies partner has a long diamond suit, perhaps 6 diamonds, and doesn't like your 2 heart bid, which is to be expected since partner can only assume you have 5 hearts when you bid this 2 level new suit bid, right? Again, you have a possible fit in diamonds, a possible fit in hearts, and you're short in the opponent's bidded suit. You don't really have a good justification for a no trump. So you need to consider the scenarios for trump contracts. A heart contract is still a possibility because your partner didn't know that you have 7 hearts. And a diamond contract is also a possibility because partner has just repeated himself with a 3 diamond bid. Partner could have 6 diamonds. So you have 10 high card points, you can probably start counting distribution points as a possibility that you have a fit. 10 high card points and possibly 3 distribution points. That's 13. You actually have a game likely hand if there's a fit. A game likely hand in 3 no trump or 4 hearts. Not so much in diamonds. Diamonds will require about 4 points higher than that. So what you can do here is to rebid 3 hearts. Since the first time you already bid 2 hearts, showing you have at least 10 points, 3 hearts just shows, it's a limit bid of course, because you have repeated your suit. 3 hearts just shows you still have around 10 high card points, but you probably have 6 or more hearts. 6 or more hearts. Remember, you prefer a major suit over a minor suit contract, principally because a minor suit contract is harder to reach. So by bidding 3 hearts, you're telling partner, I would really like a game contract in 4 hearts, if possible. So partner would have to think about whether you can bid, she can bid 4 hearts or not. And she does. So let's take a look. Well, your partner has taken a risk, basically, with only 1 heart. You have promised only 6 hearts, not 7, although you have actually 7. So your partner has, as I said, taken a risk that you can play in 4 hearts, because why? There's a game bonus in 4 hearts, right? So partner is trying hard to justify bidding in hearts, and actually, because you bid 3 hearts, which is a limit bid, you cannot blame partner if partner pass your 3 heart bid. So equally likely is the possibility that you would have played in a 3 heart contract. But partner, your partner is a risk taker. She has bid 4 hearts. Let's count her points. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 high card points. All right. So partner actually has almost an invitational hand if counting high card points. You add 3 additional distribution points, assuming a fit, of course, to that, and you would be in 18-point range. So basically, partner is taking a 50-50 chance that your heart suit is pretty decent. Even if it's only 6 cards, maybe it's a good 6 cards. But actually you have 7, so it may turn out all right. Let's see what the computer thinks. In fact, the computer thinks you can make extra tricks, 3 extra tricks over 4 hearts. Why is that so? All your spades are good, all your diamonds are good. Turns out you lose 1 club trick here. You will not lose a heart trick because it just turns out that you were really lucky. The king is here. If you lead the queen from here, opponents will probably cover with their king, and then you would then cover that with an ace, and all the rest of the tricks are yours. So actually, you would score quite a lot of tricks in this hand. Let's do one more. Okay, you have 6 spades and 11. Sorry, excuse me, 9. 9 high card points. That fits the criterion for a 2 spade weak preemptive bid. What does partner bid? Partner passes. So partner is actually fairly strong. It's 14 high card points. But as I said, if you are having a middle of the road kind of hand, like what you see North has now, you should probably pass, especially with no Trump support. And again, we see what the computer thinks. In fact, the computer thinks you may actually be able to make 10 tricks if played properly, of course. Right, so these kinds, the thing about competitive hands is that they're often done in the fog of war. You may not have as precise an estimate of your partner's strength, and so you just do the best you can. And as you gain experience, you would be able to bid better when doing competitive bidding.